Welcome back to Ascend Growth AI podcast. This is a show where we highlight leaders, innovators, and founders who are reshaping their industries. Today, I'm excited to welcome Allison Beardsley, the founder of Red Light Method, a company dedicated to helping wellness studios, spas, and health-focused businesses deliver powerful, science-backed red light therapy experiences with consistency, confidence, and measurable results. Through Red Light Method, Allison has created a proven system that elevates staff training, enhances client outcomes, and turns red light therapy into profitable, high impact services that truly stand out in an increasingly competitive wellness market. Her story, her leadership journey, and her passion for empowering operators with tools that actually work make her a remarkable voice in this space. And we're thrilled to have her on the show today. Welcome, Allison.
Thanks for having me, Niki.
To start us off, tell us about your company, Red Light Method, and your journey to creating it.
Yeah, so Red Light Method, the idea came to me in 2021. We had just moved cross country to the Ozarks to become sheep farmers. And I had a long COVID kind of thing. And I was doing business consulting at the time because I was in a state of retirement between selling Club Pilates and starting Red Light Method. At that time, I was struggling with long COVID. It was going on for months and my energy was zapped. A lady mailed me these medical grade red lights to use, and within 2 weeks of using them, I felt like I was 80 to feeling like I was 20, and I lost 11 pounds in 2 weeks, not even trying. So it was a miracle, and I was like, this is like the best thing since sliced bread, and I need to do the same thing I did with Club Pilates with this and make it affordable and accessible, because normally the treatments are $200 a pop, but our members can come unlimited for about $200 a month. So we've reduced the price by 90%, and we've seen just miracles and blessings in people. And so it just kind of organically birthed it. Because I'm one of those feeler people, like my Myers-Briggs is like Bob Marley and Shakespeare. And it's not like Bill Gates or anything. I'm like a passionate, gotta love it. Like, how can I help people? And that's my personality with business. So it's been really a beautiful ride. It's super fun.
That's awesome. Yours is the rewarding ride. Money is only so much, but watching people get healthy is far more powerful and inspiring.
Yes, definitely. And when we help and serve other people, money will come. But it's never been my main focus of I'm just doing this to make as much possible money. It's always been I'm looking out for other people and how can I bless them? And then as a result, the fruit of that is there's abundance.
What personal experiences or turning points shaped you into the leader you are today?
I think I was raised in a very humble manner. My mom was a housekeeper. We were definitely lower middle class. So there was a lot of struggle there. And I grew up in rough neighborhoods and stuff. So I think I always had a motivation there. I was a really competitive basketball player. And a week before signing my scholarship with NAU, I blew out my knee. And so that kind of led me into stuff like Pilates and red light therapy and longevity and health and healing. Because I realized at 18 years old, okay, I'm not going to be in the WNBA. Club Pilates was a lot more lucrative than the WNBA, but those were some pivotal things from our pain or from our struggles, births, entrepreneurial things of how can I help and serve?
That's amazing. You took something that could have devastated you and turned it into a life mission.
Yep, totally. And it was amazing. So it's been a fun blessing. And I love business and I have a really great team. And I've learned the certain things, what I'm good at, what I'm not good at, because I'm not a CEO. So I have a CEO for Red Light Method. And I think I sold Club Pilates really fast because I was the visionary, the founder, the operations, the CEO. I was wearing way too many hats and it was exhausting. And so I stay in my lane now, and then I have a whole operations team to be in that lane. So it's really makes doing business a joy to find what you're good at and do what you're good at and not burden yourself getting in the weeds of stuff that you're not that great at or that brings you down.
The most successful people figure that out. I need everybody around me to be smarter than me. If you put that all together, it's quite successful. Good for you. Were there any early decisions or bet the business moves that really fueled your growth?
So for Red Light Method, and Club Pilates, I'm kind of thinking of both of them. I think it was the ready, fire, then aim. We have to take action. We can't just fester in the planning stage because we can get stuck in analysis paralysis. It's better to just do something and be like, oh, that's not working. Let me course correct and fix versus thinking we're going to plan it all out ahead of time. Because you could do all the best planning in the world, but you don't know until you get in the corridor and start doing it. Red Light Method, it opened up as Red Light Gym. 10 months after being open, we were like, I don't like the name. I don't like the logo. We need to change this and this. And we did. We rebranded to Red Light Method. We did a whole remodel. We changed the look, the vibe, the feel, and some of the modalities. And that proved to be correct. But there's no way I would have birthed that idea up until I had first not gotten into the corridor and then did Red Light Gym and been like, well, this sucks. That is, sometimes you can't just plan everything. You got to do it and then course correct. So
That's a common theme with people that are very successful is they just say, don't overthink it. Just start, go, and figure it out, because you're right. People stop or they kill themselves trying to figure it all out in advance, and then you lose that. You got to be adaptable. I think that's the number one thing about being successful is be adaptable. What leadership qualities have mattered the most as you've scaled the company?
I guess for me, just always keeping the heart there of like, how can I help and serve others versus what's in it for me? And when I do that, which is just natural in my personality type, that's my biggest quality, is just super like being in a place of love. And then like my CEO, Eric, who runs the company on the logistical side, he's also that way, but he knows how to use Excel and he's amazing. So, but having a good team, I think, is super important. And I didn't have that with Club Pilates. It was a big lesson I learned in my youth, because with Club Pilates, I was a waitress, a Pilates instructor, and then CEO of a franchise company. And so I didn't know what I didn't know. I was just doing it. And like I used to compare Club Pilates as I was scaling an upside down mountain and just going, because I was literally like, I was just winging it. I knew nothing about franchising. We had the systems down. And I would say one of my giftings in business is business systems. Like I just naturally go in and I can like analyze them and be like, oh, they do this and that and this works. I just naturally analyze it all. Like, you want to be in the front because I analyze the systems of how they run their operations, and I just do that. I don't choose to do it. I just do it. So it's funny.
So when you get ready for your next adventure, you can be the consultant to all the people that need to know how to systemize their businesses to become successful. Because I think most people, that's their biggest error, is that they don't know how to create a system so that they can really grow.
Yes, amen. And it's very true, because that's why you see McDonald's, it's crap food, but their systems are there. And that's where we can identify if there's a franchisee struggling. We can go check the systems and be like, oh, well, this wasn't followed on this protocol, or this is happening, because the systems work. Like we already have several proven concepts for the franchise. And so if there is a struggle with a franchisee, then we can help pinpoint where they might be at that's causing that. But there's a really great book called E-Myth Revisited. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's all about business systems. It's a fun, easy read. It's all about the systems, 100%. And there's another great book called, it's something like 10X is better than 2X or something. I can't remember the exact title, but it's the same amount of effort to go from 1 to 2 locations as it is to go from 1 to 100 locations. Because if you're going to systemize it from 1 to 2, you could then use that and go 1 to 100 or 1,000.
And that's actually great insight for the people that watch our podcast too. So everyone take note. Who's the ideal customer for Red Light Method today?
I would say our average, like our avatar is like a 60-year-old woman, but we are definitely like 40 to 80. I mean, even 90s. We have people in their late 80s, early 90s coming. So we're definitely an older demographic because we're more gentle, and we're not like, a lot of people are going to go into like Club Pilates or Orange Theory and feel intimidated or get injured. It's not for, like, if you're deconditioned and you're overweight, you're going to go into a bunch of women who are a size 4 in spandex and feel like, I don't want to be here. I feel so uncomfortable. So we're like the people's place. Like we cater to the 80% of our population who is dealing with different health things. So most of our people, and it's just a loving environment. So there's no comparison, there's no judgment. It's relaxing. It's all levels. So we can cater to elite athletes, but I'd say most of our people are just people who want to feel better, but they don't want to go into this gym setting with some 20-year-old instructor barking orders at them, some kind of issues. They need cellular health. And right now, that's like the whole thing is metabolic health, cellular health. And the red light therapy is just amazing for that. And we use one, there's only a few medical grade red light devices in the US, and we use one of them. Yeah. And so it's been beautiful. We also use other modalities as well, like the PEMF mat or exercise with oxygen therapy. And the power plate Pilates, sauna. So I started my first business in December '07, Club Pilates, and then in '08 the economy tanked, and we went gangbusters because we had affordable rents, and also we were the low price leader. Like, we were looking to help the school teachers, the military, the nurses, like regular folk. We never made it this elite thing. And so we're just doing the same thing with Red Light Method. And I think that since I started my first business right before that downturn, those grooves of, like, you know how we get into pattern grooves in our life, that's like a core thing for me. Is like, other franchisors try to push franchisees into class A retail space right by Whole Foods. That's going to cost you $15,000 a month in rent. Our locations, like my location in Reno, is $2,900 a month from rent. It's right around the corner from a Sprouts. If I would have been in the same Sprouts center, it'd be $10,000 a month, but I'm right around the corner, so it's $2,900. And you can find these in all markets. Like our Atlanta East Cobb area, she found her rent for around $2,500. Tucson is Oro Valley, Tampa, even Marin County, just north of San Francisco, where the average income's $200,000 and it's bougie. She found a space for $2,200 a month. So you can find these spaces, and they can't be in the hood, of course, but there's you find a little, this, like the Marin County one used to be like a Birkenstock store, and it's in a cute little like hippie neighborhood. There's street parking. So yeah, but everything else she was looking at was like $10,000 a month. And I'm like, no, because we want our margins. Like, I want to always prepare my franchisees for the next 2008. Because I saw firsthand in my first business, I saw dozens of Pilates studios and wellness things go out of business, and they were paying $10,000 a month in rent. And then we actually took over that exact same spot and got the rent for $2,500 during the downed economy. So that's just so deeply ingrained in the grooves of how I do business. I probably annoy a lot of the landlords because I'm like, no, we're not paying more than $4,000. No, you're crazy. But we got to keep those margins good, because what if there's another downturn? And they're usually about every 20 years. That's 2025. So we got another one coming. It's not if, it's when. And run a lean operation. I love that. I love 50% EBITDA profit margins, which is unheard of. It's possible. We open most of our studios. Actually, I've never opened a studio not in the black. So we do aggressive pre-sales, and then if they're following our system, as long as they follow the systems and they do the low rent and they open with minimal hours and then grow it organically, they should never be bleeding out from day one. So, and I think I am scrappy that way because I was raised in the hood. And so my humble upbringing. So I never was like, oh yeah, we can just spend a year's worth of income, because I was like, I didn't have that. So I'm like, you got to open up day one, like ready to go.
Geographically, are you everywhere in the U.S.? Are you worldwide?
Yeah, so we're a young company. We've been open for 3 years, our first prototype location in Arkansas, and we've been franchising for 18 months. We have 80 locations in development, 10 are open. We'll have another 10 open by April 2026. And by the end of 2026, we should be 30 to 40 open. So we have Florida's getting ready to open, San Diego just opened. We have a couple in Atlanta, Georgia. We have Cincinnati, Tucson, Arizona, we're Reno, Nevada, we're all over. We're getting ready to open in the Marin County, San Francisco area. So we have Detroit getting ready, and a bunch of locations are getting ready and in the pipeline. We just signed a location in Long Island, getting ready to sign some in North Carolina. We have Colorado's in pre-sales right now for Denver, so is Salt Lake. We're definitely all over, but we're still a very young company, only 18 months old and franchising. I did it before.
Yeah, it's a boom start. And you literally took what you did with Club Pilates and just translated over to another modality that's highly effective.
Yes, definitely. And keeping true to those core things, because yeah, it's definitely like, how can we help and serve as many people as possible and make it affordable for the regular folk? And I don't even think the cat's not out of the bag yet on the benefits of all this cellular health biohacking. People are still learning about it and everything. And actually today is Club Pilates' 18th birthday. So it was 18 years ago today that it opened. And I was 6 months pregnant with my son, who's going to be 18 in February. So yeah, it's funny because I was like, wow, December 2nd. It was the day the first Club Pilates opened.
And I do think, I mean, especially with America, even though they're on this big push to make things more healthy, make food healthy, I just don't know how far they're actually going to really get. But the cellular health is so big, and women in particular, we're getting older in menopause and perimenopause and inflammation, and you're just like, what is invading my body that's making so much inflammation that I just cannot figure out how to get rid of it? How do you combat it? And you're taking something that's incredibly effective.
It's amazing. And I think so much of it goes to is we live in such an indoor, like, we don't have our bare feet. We're out in the sunshine each day. Like, life has almost become too easy as far as like we can get so many calories so easy versus in the olden days, they only ate one meal a day and sometimes they went days without food and then sometimes they had abundance, but it was a struggle. And we're in a really unique time in history, but I think that's where red light method is like bringing, like we use the PEMF mats also. And so that's grounding. It's part of the superhuman protocol, which is red light, PEMF, and exercise with oxygen therapy. But when you do that, you're reducing inflammation, you're unclotting the blood cells. And so when most of us, like if you take a sample of our blood out, you'll see lots of cells are clotted together. And so all these oxygen or all these blood cells are only absorbing one cell's worth as they're clotted. In just 10 minutes of bare feet on the ground, they separate. And now you're getting 10 times more oxygen versus just the two, you're getting 10 times now. And so the grounding mats do that, or just putting your bare feet on the ground. And like we can get red near infrared light in nature with the rising sun, but I'm not up with the rising sun, that's for sure. My dogs like to go out in sunshine in the morning. I try to make myself go out, but sometimes it's cold. It's like 25 degrees today. We're in the mountains. I don't want to stand out. This is crazy. And we have our noise canceling and our blackout curtains and our comfy beds. So it's really hard to wake up with the rising sun for most of us. In our temperature controlled rooms where it's just perfect and our linen bedding.
What current trends in wellness and red light therapy market are shaping your growth and strategy right now?
It's really interesting because the wellness sector is a new sector coming up. So we're seeing all these like sauna, cold plunge places happening, and it's supposed to go. And the thing that concerns me with my 2008 mentality about these wellness brands is that, I mean, an economic downtime comes, like those memberships are $400 a month and their build out is $1 million. Like our build out's like 40,000 and our membership's $200 a month, and we're bridging both fitness and wellness. So I think red light method is disrupting the industry because we're the first to bridge the two. Because again, I'm going back to my 2008 PTSD lessons. Once people start holding back and they're going to have to be like, hey, am I going to do my cold plunge or my Pilates membership? Oh, there's this place called Red Light Method and I can get both for even less. So we're kind of poising ourselves in that way. But I see lots of growth happening right now in the wellness space because our aging population, like most of our population is over 40. The under 40 population is young. And most people under 40 can't afford boutique fitness and wellness. So we're really targeting, I think that we need to target the 80% of the population and not the 20% of the population. But I don't think the cat is out of the bag yet. Like when Club Pilates first started, there was no boutique fitness that didn't even exist back then. Like Club Pilates was one of the first boutique fitness. And now there's this whole category of boutique wellness gyms. And they're so nice to go to versus a big box gym. Like my son, he's almost 18. He's working out at Planet Fitness. And he's like, Mom, come work out with me. I like walked in and I was like, I like turned around and walked right out. I was like, no way in heck. And I used to work at Gold's Gym. I used to work in gym 25 years ago, but I was like, no way, I cannot do this. Like, I'm so spoiled now by boutique fitness. Like, I cannot go into Planet Fitness. It was hilarious. He loves it.
How are you currently using AI inside your business or onboarding experience?
We don't use it too much. We like the personal human touch, but we do use a little bit of automations in our lead follow-ups in the sales process. And I do use Chat GPT, like, because I will write way too many words. And so I'm like, Chat GPT, take my 6 paragraphs and put it into 3 sentences for me. And it does that really well. So that's the main way I use it, is to like help me, like, here's my thing, like make this concise, because it's hard. Because if I were to write all the content on the website, you're going to be reading like an essay. So Chat GPT helped me to bring that down, because we don't want to have essays on the website. Everyone's like, got a short attention span.
What do you wish you were using AI for, especially when it comes to capturing more customers or reducing lost leads? And honestly, for you, it's kind of two-spoked, because yes, customers and lost leads, but also franchisees.
We have a very organic sales process. So we do most of our stuff through Meta, Instagram, and Facebook. And cost per lead can vary. Like in Reno, I'm getting $5 leads. I spend $1,000 a month. I'm getting 200 leads a month. We then have a whole sales process, like week 1, day 1, week 1, day 3, week 1, day 5, week 2, day, And so it's like text, email, call, or this, and that. Some of it is automated with AI through our CRM, but other parts we are doing the phone calls. And yeah, I'm not sure how much, like we do have a call center, and our call center helps our franchise owners with leads, because it can be stressful in the beginning when they're in pre-sales or just got open, to keep up on their leads and manage the newly owned. But all of our call center are local in the United States. They all work at Red Light Method. Most of them are they're like stay-at-home moms who are like doing 10 hours at the call center, and they all work in studio too, so they know. But I guess maybe we're not using AI as much as we can or should. We're still kind of doing things old school. We do it a little bit, but not like, we're not using it too much.
Well, right now it's just people in your growth spurt. I mean, you're in that, get it all going, up and going. Like this is going to be a big year for you with that many onboarding and then ramping up from there. Where do you see the greatest opportunity for AI to help Red Light Method scale or be more efficient? Either.
I'm not sure, honestly. Like, we do use it in some capacity. Like, we have a bunch of SOPs in our training portal. SOPs go through AI to get recalibrated to be more clean and proficient and streamlined looking. But I think we're just such a human-based business for that human connection. Like, we have that culture of like, how do we like love and the personal touch and everything, like making our members feel like a part of a community. So I'm not sure, honestly. Maybe like running analytics, or we could run like our data, but we use a lot of Excel spreadsheets and compare data and track it. But I've not found too many AIs that I really love that do like the phone calls or the phone service or the auto communications. We've tried using like the little chat bot that's AI and you train it. It just doesn't, yeah. So maybe we're not using it as much as we should, and we're still doing things kind of old school. But I know my Cincinnati franchisee loves Grok, and she has like, Grok does everything for her. It's like, she's like in love with Grok. Like, she really is. She's like, I love Grok. He's stealing my heart. And I'm like, oh, Melissa, you don't tell your husband. You've got an affair going on with Grok. She's my aunt too. She's my aunt in Cincinnati who opened, and she's a 5% shareholder of the company, but she is so in love with Grok. I was just talking to her about it yesterday.
What is something in the company that is working really well right now and that you're particularly proud of?
I think it's really our operations team, and that we've really vetted our franchise owners, that we just have amazing owners. Because that's the most important thing, is that we keep really amazing franchisees to work with, because it can be really cumbersome as a franchisor to have franchisees who are like bratty toddlers who just are disgruntled and ungrateful. It brings down the whole vibe. So I'm really proud that both I hate the word corporate, we call it the family, but our family team and all of our franchisees are just salt of the earth, amazing people. They're so loving. They have all high moral compasses and like a genuine heart to help and serve. So I think we're doing that really well. We do our pre-sales really well. We open up with 120 to 315 members, and a mature studio is considered 300. So it's really cool to be able to open in the black. So that's another thing I'm really proud of, is all of our businesses have opened up in the black. None of them have opened up in the red. And I don't know how to open a business in the red. So all we do is open business in the black. And so as long as we keep doing that, I'm going to be happy, because every market's different. Some studios might only open with 120 members, and maybe it takes them 18 months to get to 300. And that sucks. Like, I don't like that. But then other studios open with 250 or 300. Like, it just depends on so many different factors. I think something we can improve on is more boots on the ground guerrilla marketing, because we've all been so spoiled by our $5 meta leads of people clicking, and we get their name, email, phone number, and follow up. But sometimes Meta does crazy stuff, and then your $5 leads turn to $20 leads. Instead of getting 200 a month, now you're getting 50. And so that's an external obstacle that is something that we definitely need to mitigate. And the best way I know how is go out and do in-person business to business connections, like meet your physical therapist, go to the hair salon, go to the estheticians, like go in the community and meet the other people and get out there, which is a lot harder to do in this digital age, because everyone's like behind their little phone screen. So to get out into the community is something that is really important also.
If you could go back and talk to your younger self before launching probably Club Pilates as opposed to red light therapy, what would you tell her?
I would say listen to your gut. In Club Pilates, I made a lot of mistakes by not listening to my gut, whether it came to hiring people into certain positions where my gut was like, do not hire them. Like, red alarms. And then I would get wooed into their smooth talking and then hire them. And then it turns into a big poop show. Now I'm so good at listening to my gut. Once my gut's like, red alert, I'm like, run. I was like, I don't know what it is, guys, but I'm not hiring that person, or I'm not doing this. I'm just listening to that. And it's just been beautiful. So, and it's hard because I mean, when I started Club Pilates, I was 26. Now I'm 45. It's a whole different ball game. And so like, I think that comes with maturity, and I don't have toddlers now. They're 18 and almost 16. Like it's a different, like wisdom comes with age. And so I've learned to really listen to my gut, but that would be the one thing, because we have an extra sense. Like you can call it whatever you want to call it, but there is like my gut has never been wrong, never on anything. But when it comes to business, my gut has never been wrong, never ever.
I think there is a lot of power and success into knowing that if you stay the course and you listen to the Holy Spirit, honestly, that you will find so much more success with so much less pain. And I think a lot of people compromise because of the fear of I won't be successful, or nothing else will come, and I can get through it, or I can lean on my ability to change the situation. And I think, as you're right, as we get older, we realize we don't need to do any of that. And if we don't do that, we'll get where we want to go a lot faster and with a lot more peace. And there's a lot to say for a life with peace.
It is. And this is funny because I was just doing another podcast and we talked about that peace. Like I had a little disagreement with one of my bestest friends on Thanksgiving. It was a miscommunication, but that robbed me of my peace until Sunday when we both talked. Whenever we are feeling unease or tension, usually that means we need to say, I'm sorry, or we need to reflect and be like, okay, there's something wrong. I shouldn't be in this state of dis-ease. When we do have that, we need to take action, and there's something we need to correct. For me, it was a simple misunderstanding with one of my dearest friends. And it's cool because we both went through it, and then we're both like, dude, I love you even more. I love you more. Like, it's cool to have that. And it's hard, I think, because as women and in the West, we don't want to have conflict. So we try to avoid conflict, but we need to take the conflict bull by the horns and get through it. And then we're stronger and better for it. And we're not holding on to that angst and tension. And then going through the day with no peace. Because I had a few days after Thanksgiving I was like struggling and grumpy. And like usually I'm like rolling with my homies, everything smooth. And so I think that can happen in peace in our personal relationships and everything. And it's hard. It's for us to be effective leaders or business owners, effective friend or a parent if we're not in peace.
I could not agree more. What advice would you give to someone who dreams of becoming a CEO or launching their own company one day?
Do it. Just do it. Don't overthink it. Don't analysis paralysis. But you got to go through the necessary. You can't just go from like, I'm a high school student to now I'm a CEO and business investor. There's a really good book called The Midas Touch. It was written by Kiyosaki and Trump, and it talks about the 4 quadrants of you have to go from employee to self-employed to business owner to investor. So like when I first started, I worked at Gold's Gym, and then I became a Pilates instructor. And then I started doing in-home Pilates lessons, and I started my own self-employed thing that was dependent on me. Then I opened Club Pilates, where at first it was just me, but then I brought in instructors and started training instructors. So then I went to business owner. And then after Club Pilates, I was able to go into the investor realm. Okay, let me invest in real estate, or let me invest in gold. So we have to go through those steps. I think there might be exceptions. Like if you're born into a billionaire family, maybe you go straight to investor. But for the 99% of us who are not born to billionaire families, we have to kind of go through those steps, and they're all character building. So it would be like get into the corridor, which is a book called The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, which I love that book, by T. Harv Eker. And he thought he wanted to open a pie shop. And so he got a job as a busboy at a pie shop. Well, he's like, I hate pie. I don't like this. And so he didn't open the pie shop, but while he was in the pie shop, he learned of this awesome like fitness thing. And so he started this business with fitness. And then before you knew it, that went off and he sold it for millions and moved to San Diego. But he always says, get into the corridor. So we just got to get into the corridor. Like, when I first started, I thought I wanted to be a PE teacher. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to go work at Gold's Gym. And then that's when the Pilates thing just fell into my lap, because I was the lowly front desk girl making like $6 an hour, and the Pilates instructor no-showed. And I was like, I'll teach it.
Like, put me in, coach, put me in. I wasn't an instructor. I'd taken 5 classes and I had a book and I'm like, let me use dozens. I know, but yeah. So I just got in and winged it. And then I started teaching Pilates. Like, it was just being like, okay, put me in, I'll do it. So yeah, it was fun.
What's the biggest win that stands out in your mind over the last 5 to 10 years?
So the biggest thing that's happened to me in the last 5 or 10 years is I was born again in 2018. So I had an Apostle Paul born again with Jesus, which is going to make me cry, but that has totally transformed my life. And I didn't seek it out. I didn't choose it. I was on my way to a Kundalini yoga class. We were living in the mountains. It was a 2-hour drive. And I'm a learning junkie. And so I listen to books every week. Now I listen to the Bible like 5 times a year. But I was driving and the only book that uploaded was a Christian audiobook. And I literally had Apostle Paul born again. Wow. It was like the scales were removed from my eyes. And then I was like, oh my gosh, like this is the way and the truth. And it just completely transformed my life, my marriage, my families, the way I do business, everything. So that's the most profound thing. And that was in December 2018. And after that, I've read the Bible about 70 times in the last 7 years. So I read or listened to, I'm more of an audio learner. So I do a lot of audio books. It's just been beautiful. And I am like, that has been a life changer for me. It's been like, I don't know how I survived my life, honestly, because I was a military wife dealing with husband being deployed and starting Club Pilates. And I feel like Club Pilates, like it wasn't that fun to own and operate. And I dealt with a lot of snakes in the grass and everything. And so it's so cool because I think God is redeeming my business experience with Red Light Method. And I have this amazing team and I have this faith and this peace without understanding. And so that is by far the most pivotal thing that's happened to me in the last 5 to 10 years.
When you look back now, what was the biggest thing that you learned during that time?
Before I was born again, I used to think we were all little gods. And so I was actually writing a book for Hay House called Spiritualizing Business. And my hashtag was, "You're a powerful creator." And so I built this following and this self-glorified brand, even though I didn't want to, because Hay House is like, you need to have AllisonBeardsley.com. I was like, and they're like, that's your ego. But really that was the Holy Spirit telling me, no, you don't want AllisonBeardsley.com and a self-glorified brand. Well, I had pretty much finished the book. And so one day, like I was like a 3-day-old believer and I was like in tears crying, like, oh my God, forgive me for all these things. I've broken every commandment. Yeah, very humble, like contrite spirit. And I heard audibly, no, you're a powerful server. So he corrected me that I'm not a powerful creator. I cannot create galaxies and stars. And my thought, because I was always a very spiritual person, and like whether it was Buddhism, Hinduism, I did all that kind of stuff. I would do retreats all the time. And I did. I thought we were all little gods and goddesses and creators. And then I realized, no, there is a creator. I'm made of dust, but I am in his likeness and I am a server to him. I'm not a creator. So I can co-create on a little minute scale, little businesses and my family, and I can make a dish or some food, but it's not like I can't create galaxies and universes and animals and plants and this intelligence that's beyond our comprehension. We are powerful servers and our purpose is to serve him. And so it's interesting because my former belief was mostly right. There was just a little perversion of, I thought I was a little God. And so now I'm like, no, I'm not a little God. I'm a servant to God. And so it's very just humbling and beautiful to step into that.
Given that you're used to solving problems of magnitude, what are you focused on right now?
I think our biggest problem right now is we can't tell if someone's going to get $25 meta leads or $5 meta leads. And so that affects what our franchisees' budget is for pre-sales because we really need them to have 200 to 300 leads per month. Their first 5 months that they're in pre-sales before even opening. And if they're only getting 50 leads a month, that's a big problem. I think that's where we're shifting to getting really grassroots in the community to those studios because we don't know which market's which. Like in Reno, I'm getting $5 leads still, but in San Diego, they're getting $25 leads. And so we can't just up the budget to $8,000 a month. That's not sustainable. We usually spend $1,000 to $2,000 a month in ads. So we're really trying to solve that with like a systemized grassroots campaign, like where we bring like baskets with little gifts, like little cups with a card and some tea for like a free complimentary week that we're taking to the chiropractor's office or the physical therapist or the hair salons that those people can then give to their friends. Is kind of grassroots marketing. And like each little gift is like a $3 or $4. We bulk order from China. And so we're getting these cups for pennies on the dollar and everything and putting that together. But we're trying to do more grassroots leads that way for especially the communities that are impacted by not getting the good meta leads. And so it's just challenging. We have great marketing people, and like I work with a guy who represents like 500 different brands and locations, and he knows what he's doing, but every 3 months Meta changes its algorithm. And so it's like a big halt, and he's the best marketing guy I've found. And I've obviously been doing digital marketing for a long time. So it's hard we have a couple different vendors we use for our digital paid marketing campaigns. But I would say that is our biggest obstacle, and a solution we're looking for is it's going back to the more old school. I've never had good success with Google leads. They're really expensive, and we come up very organically on Google, but the Meta leads are very amazing. And so I just wish Meta would be more consistent with their algorithm so we could get out there, because a lot of people haven't heard about us in a new community. They're like, what is this? And so we want to stop the scroll and have people submit. And so, yeah, that's our biggest obstacle and a thing we're working on right now.
Tell us how people can get in touch with you.
Yeah, so redlightmethod.com. You can email me at franchise@redlightmethod.com. The website's the best way to get in touch with me. We're expanding, we're growing, we're looking for great franchisees, and we've seen beautiful miracles. We had a lady have her macular degeneration healed, and just crazy stuff that I've never seen with Club Pilates. I feel like we're blessing others, and when you bless others and do good, and you're not all about how much can I put in my pocket, but about helping and serving others, I feel like God truly blesses that. And it's like an energy that's unstoppable. Even though I was a little pagan heathen when I started Club Pilates, I still operated from that standpoint of helping and serving others. And I feel like that's like an unstoppable energy that when we do business from that way, and I think we need more of that. I think we need more people to do business, not out of greed. I think we're a little out of whack right now, like with the insurance companies and like what happened to the United Healthcare CEO, like that kind of stuff. There's so much corruption and so much greed that we would have like such a societal shift if people would actually like take care of their employees and like love their franchisees and not gouge them, and like really come alongside them and help them versus just making it all about greed. And money will come. Yeah, like when we do the right things, money comes. It's a fruit. When you have the good roots, you get those fruits.
Allison, what a joy. We're very, very blessed to have had this time with you, for sure.
Thank you for having me. And I'm so glad that I got to spend this time with you, Niki. Thank you.
That's it for today's episode. Thank you for joining us. And if you got value from today's conversation, please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time on Ascend Growth AI Podcast, where we mix smart growth moves with a little AI magic. I'm Niki. See you later.